You know what time it is? You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene Washington Commanders recap show. You already know what time it is. You know I'm boosted. I'm Wole. I'm joined with my guy, Lake Lewis, host of the Lake Lewis Show and NFL and Washington Commanders insider. Hey, what's going on, Lake man? What is good, bruh?
What's good, man? A lot of energy today, you know.
Oh, you already know.
Big win yesterday, you know. Still, trying to get my bearings and put it all together, man.
I know, man. Before we get into all that, but first off, we'll make sure if y'all were under a rock on Sunday night to get into the playoffs, Jayden Daniels. I'm gonna have to. I start with Jayden Daniels. It's not the Washington Commanders. Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders defeated the Atlanta Falcons in OT 30-24. But again, before we get into this game, man, let me tackle some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. And like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, let's get into it. It was a sloppy, undisciplined game by the Commanders initially. However, Jayden Daniels helped will this team to a victory over the Falcons. Daniels threw for 3 touchdowns, threw for about 227 passing yards, and rushed for 127 rushing yards, including the game-winning drive when he played Superman, where he hit tight end Zach Ertz for that touchdown pass. Man, can you talk about this young man's performance?
I mean, yesterday was stuff of legends. You know, we've seen all year long. You know, when I've come on with you, we've talked about it. If Jayden Daniels is no worse than the second best player on the field on any Sunday, Washington's got a chance to win the game. If he's the best player on the field, they're winning the football game.
Facts.
And 12 times this season, we saw him be the best player on the field. And yesterday, though, was different. Yesterday was, listen, we're sloppy right now. As you said, undisciplined. We're not putting it together. They put a lid on Terry yesterday. Atlanta did. It was one of those games where it was like, somebody's got to make a play here. And your rookie quarterback decided, you know what? Let's throw everything out, everything with the bathwater, the baby with the bathwater, and then revert back to LSU, Jayden. Let me revert back to, I'm going to run. I'm going to throw passes here, there, tight spirals. I mean, he did everything yesterday except for take tickets at the concession stand. Like, the guy was amazing. And, you try not to give out those kind of superlatives for a rookie, especially not around in these parts. But that was a performance that I haven't seen in a long time. And, I don't want to date myself, but everyone knows I've been covering this team a long time.
Yeah.
And I do remember before I was covering them now, I remember the good old days in this town with John Riggins and these guys.
Yeah.
That performance to me was John Riggin-ish, meaning when you knew he was going to get the ball 40 times, 35, 40 times rushing in a game, and you still couldn't do anything about it. I understand he had a great offensive line at that time, but what Jayden did yesterday was just sheer will, put 52 other guys on his back. And no matter what their flaws were as a team, he overcame that. And that's stuff of legends. That's where the legend of Jayden Daniels grew yesterday. Not just winning that game, Wole, to get into the playoffs, but it was the 11th win for them. Something they hadn't done since 1991. So everything he did put himself firmly entrenched. If there was anybody out there that was not sure about Jayden Daniels, if you still were holding hope that Drake May, who you liked back then, or Caleb Williams, whoever, nah, man, this is the one right here for Washington.
And like I said on the show last night after the game, I said that I think somebody asked me a question about Drake May or whatever, and I was like, it's about who fits this situation the best. You know what I mean? And what Washington needed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, to be real with you, I know a lot of people want to pick their guys in that draft class, whatever. All those rookies are doing well. Jayden just playing at a certain level. All those
Michael
rookies were
Penix
playing
looked
well.
good last night to me.
Yeah, he looked good too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all of them look good. For rookies, they all are playing well. For rookies, rookie quarterbacks, they're playing well. But Jayden's putting himself on a whole different level. There's levels to it, right? There's levels to this. So,
Right.
like, to your point, this is the guy. You know what I mean? This is the guy. And like Paul said, and I totally agree with this, man. Like that the last drives of both the Philly and Atlanta game was LSU Jayden. It was. It was basically taking over. That's what I was so impressed with the last drive in OT. It was that he really willed that team. I mean, like people use that they use that all the time, like willing a team to victory. Like he literally
That's what that was last night, without
yeah,
question.
willed the team for victory in the overtime, especially that drive. It was more like, hey, I'm gonna run and get this first down. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? If you want to flip it into basketball, you could say it like in terms when Jordan is in that zone, when Kobe's in that zone, AI was in that zone. Like you can do whatever you want to scheme up, but you're not able to stop that individual. You know what I mean? Because now you're willing your team to that W, and that's he took on that type of heroic effort, like heroic game to me.
He did, and you know what? It's funny you say that because our good friend Felix, who I did a post game with last night after the game, when we were in Jayden's presser, I literally told Felix, I said, you know what? Not to change the sport, but what I saw last night was Kobe-ish.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, it was, and you knew he was in a zone because he was taking hits and he was bouncing right back up. It was almost like the adrenaline had kicked in so much for him. Nothing was going to derail him last night. That's called sheer will. That's what will means. Exactly. Determination. There's nothing you can do that's going to keep me from willing my team to a victory. And unfortunately, a lot of young folks don't understand what that concept is. And that's not to knock them.
Yeah, I got you.
Because they're playing with super teams and all these different things. And, but last night was also, and I'm going to say this, and this isn't to damper the win, because God knows we all need this for individual reasons, professional, the whole nine. Life is good right now.
Life is good right now.
But I also know I saw something yesterday that made this 11-win, possibly 12-win season even more impressive. What it showed was, one, these guys are being coached.
Yes.
To have a culture. They're being coached to believe in something. Secondly, the fan base is back. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But the most important thing that I saw last night and what Jayden was doing, it showed there's a sheer gap between his talent level and a lot of the other guys on this football team. And they're going to have to close that gap a little bit to him, because if not, it's going to stunt his development, his growth. Because Terry's the guy. We know that.
Yeah.
But Terry has what happened last night, and it happens on occasion where teams double team him, damn near triple team him.
Yeah.
Somebody else has to step up, another receiver. Well, it's fortunate that Washington has a viable tight end in Zach Ertz. But as far as the number 2 receiver, Olamide had a great game. He stepped up, but we know he's not a number 2 receiver.
True.
He's more of a slot guy. He's a third receiver, fourth receiver on really good offense. So for Washington, it showed me what Jayden was doing last night was, damn, this man's this good that he can sheer will a team to a victory. Imagine when he gets more talent around him. Imagine when he can sit back and do what he was doing at LSU, where you have Brian Thomas on one side and Malik Neighbors on the other. In Washington, you have Terry, and then there's a significant drop-off from the skill set positions. It really is. Zach Ertz is an upper echelon tight end, but he's older. We know that. He's not going to get you much after the catch, even though last night he had a couple.
Yeah, he was found the youth.
Yeah, he was doing some things. But again, I say this, with all due respect, man, what Dan Quinn and Adam Peters have done is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, it is literally culture that's winning these games for this team.
Yeah.
Because we know that they're short on talent from 1 through 53. They really are.
Yeah.
But for all these guys to buy into something and believe in the brotherhood, as they constantly say,
Yeah.
it's real, man. And fans should be more excited and more supportive of a team like this than a team that's so talent laden it underproduces. And we've seen that over the years. Now it's totally different. If you play for Washington, you better buckle your straps up and play to the very end of games, because every time they fall behind, you know a comeback is coming. They've never been blown out in this new regime.
Nah, other than the Tampa game. Maybe the Tampa game is where I felt like they were dominated. That was the only game I felt like they were dominated.
You know what? I liken that to the Heat, because the Heat dominated me down there that day. Again, man, I never forget Bobby Wagner. We were talking, man, about how hot it was. I mean, I used to live in Florida. I used to work ESPN radio in Florida. And I'm telling you, I ain't never been that hot. I've been to Africa before, for the part. I ain't never been that hot than that first week in Tampa. And the irony is we might be going back there.
Well, luckily, it'll be in December, so it shouldn't be that hot, right?
Hey, man.
Yeah. In January, excuse me.
Just know that one day the devil be chilling at the
Oh man, I wanted Paul has a comment. I wonder if you agree. He said JD5 trajectory is more like 15 Patrick Mahomes to me. They're different.
They're different, but you know what? It's funny he says this, Paul, and that's a great comment, because people keep asking me like, who's Jayden's comp? And I'm like, he doesn't have one.
Yeah, he doesn't for real.
I understand how he can be a little bit Lamar-ish with the legs. But at this age, he's a far more superior passer than Lamar was.
Yeah.
And Lamar's, that's my favorite player in the NFL. So let's just so we understand that.
Yeah.
This isn't throwing Lamar any shade.
Yeah.
I do see the Aaron Rodgers kind of the old one at least.
Yeah.
I mean, the younger one, older times. I can kind of see it, but the thing that he does have in common with Patrick is that he doesn't have to be throwing for 400 yards to beat you.
Yeah, I like
just the nuances, the little things that Jayden does, picking up these first downs along the way.
Bruh.
We're not just big for Washington. It was demoralizing to Atlanta's defense. And you saw by the middle of the fourth quarter, their defensive linemen weren't coming with juice like they were before. They were unsure, like, well, damn, if we bull rush up ahead, he's taking off in between the gaps. And he was doing it consistently. They didn't know what to do. And that was like, again, one of the first times I've seen a Washington player in burgundy and gold on the offensive side of the ball. I'll put this in perspective for everybody who's watching right now. And I say this with the utmost respect. What Jayden did last night to me was the closest thing I've seen in Washington as a dominant skill set player, because we know Trent was that dude.
Yeah.
But this was the closest thing to me I've seen that left my mouth open going back to Sean Taylor.
Yeah.
It was the best player on the field, and it was by a country mile.
Yeah.
That's what we saw.
Yeah, it's wild because like that's how I felt. I know a lot of people like are negative on 2012, because of how it panned out. But like yesterday was just different. Like that was, I don't think I've ever, and I'm gonna be real, like as much as folks know, 2012 was always gonna be special to me, right?
Of course.
But I've never seen, I don't think in my lifetime, even Sean Taylor, as much as I love Sean, I don't think I've ever seen a player in Washington like will it that way.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, Sean was on the defensive side of the ball, so he had to go get the
football. This was different.
But for Jayden to have the ball like as a point guard in basketball, this was some Steph stuff last night.
For real.
I mean, it was that. It was
like LeBron against Detroit, like that when he scored all the points in a row. It's like
47. That was incredible. Yeah, It was a guy that just decided, you know what, I'm better than you guys out here. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I know he speaks about his team, and Jayden is just, I can tell you guys, everyone watching, man, I've been in a lot of locker rooms, not just Washington's, but Baltimore, the Giants. I've never seen a player that damn good be that unassuming, meaning he's just one of the guys. He's in every day of practice. He's in the locker room, and he's in the locker room joking with us. Yesterday, after he left the podium, when we were outside, I was, fist pumped him, so, congrats. And he said, thank you. Like, man, you know who I am. But he was just so just calm. It was unbelievable, man. The guy just doesn't flinch. He is as advertised. I'm not blowing smoke. All my colleagues will tell you the same thing. I do feel like I have a nice little rapport with Jayden, and it's just a good kid, man. He really is. And Washington's in great hands for a long time, and that's the biggest thing here, man. This guy's a rookie. He hasn't even played his best football. His best football is years from now. Yeah. And if he's this good now, imagine how good he's going to be 5-6 years from now. Imagine how good this team's going to be 5-6 years from now.
And I do think something that you said that I think we have to appreciate too is that we've seen this in football where you have super young talented dudes, but you just didn't have the coaching staff to kind of get the best out of them. I just feel like as a whole, we can all talk about Cliff Kingsbury, but people even under that with with Johnson, also obviously Anthony Lynn, just to have that type of coaching staff with him, it's just going to make him a better quarterback. It's almost like I always appreciate when a staff, when they draft a kid, they do whatever it takes to make that kid productive, especially the quarterback position. Absolutely. Like in 2012, it's the same way as 2012. Like when Shanahan was, regardless of how folks feel about Shanahan, that staff was amazing. Like they did whatever it took.
They set up their offense. They went to Baylor, studied Baylor's offense, but Robert was there. They did everything to give him success and hide whatever his weaknesses were. Exactly. That ultimately got exposed later. But that rookie season for Robert, I'll say this: as great a season as we know Jayden's having, him to have broken Robert's records in the last week or two, that goes to show you how great Robert's rookie season. Yeah, for real. Yeah. So we kind of forget that because we just think of the injury and the way the relationship team ended. But that 2012 was something special, and they reeled off 9 in a row or something like that. That was special. But Jayden is having a season we've never seen from a rookie because he doesn't have training wheels on. I mean, as great as Robert was his rookie season,
he had training wheels
from the passing game. Yeah. Jayden doesn't have any training wheels. This guy's on a freaking Harley. You know what I'm saying? Like he's running the offense. And I personally believe that sometimes Cliff, like in the fourth quarter, has to just sit back and let the guy play, man, and stop overthinking things, stop, not utilizing what you have. Just let that man decide. We're gonna go back to street football. We're going basically, you know who he looked like last night to me, real talk. Yeah, who he looked like Lamar.
He did. No, he did. I ain't gonna hold you. He did.
Yeah, the freedom of just being the best athlete on the field. Yeah. He looked like that's how Lamar does. Lamar gets to a point where it's like, the hell.
I was gonna do me.
Yeah, the hell with this. Let me go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did like Lamar. It just that everything he did, you could tell that game was everything to him. Yeah. At that moment.
Like you would have to drag them off the field to get out.
And that's why I respect more than anything, just the competitiveness. Like you could say he's smiling. I don't care about that smiling crap. You show action.
Assassin.
Yeah. That's action. Like action. When you watch it, when you know that the dude is doing whatever it takes to try to win the football game, you can only sit. I don't care if you have detractors, whatever. If you have your detractors, you gotta just still appreciate that. You know what I mean? Just do whatever it takes to win a football game. Like if I gotta run, I'm gonna run. All right, B-Rob, you ain't as effective as me running the football. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna take off. All right, Zacchaeus, you may be slightly open, but I trust my legs more than you making this grab. And no knock on Zacchaeus, no knock on Terry or anybody. But this particular point, I trust me. Like I know I can get it done. You know what I mean? So it was fun to watch because, and it's the coolest thing to have that feeling, right? It's almost like even when we had Austin Seibert when he was before he the injury, when he kicked the field goal, we felt confident about that, right? We were like, he's gonna make it. Like there was a confidence. When OT hit and we won the toss, I was calm. Like I ain't gonna lie. I watched it. We won the toss. I started cursing like, ew. Like I was real into it, right? Because I had faith in this young man. You know what I'm saying? Like I had faith.
Well, the whole crowd when I can tell you when Washington won the toss, the building erupted. It was almost like, well, first of all, people did not want to see that defense on the field no more.
You mean Mike Davis, right? You mean Mike Davis? That's what you mean.
Listen, I gotta go in the locker room tomorrow.
I said it for you. I don't want you to. I just said it for you. I ain't want you. You don't got to throw shade. I'm just saying. I'm saying you mean Mike Davis.
I'm gonna say it. We family. You know, I can say stuff on your show.
I know.
That was for my new term in 2025. That was cheeks and cornbread. It was bad, and you know our style.
Yeah,
those professionals. They're the best of the best.
Yeah,
so you got to tip your hat before they even get on the field. They've already earned that. But that was worse than Benji.
It was,
and Benji had been struggling. Mike Davis yesterday was a liability on the field, and they were attacking him every second they could. Yeah. And you mean I give him credit, you know, he was around the ball, you know, but it just again, you know, and again, not to go from the euphoria of the win,
no, it's cool,
to the realism of what's going on defense. They just don't have the pieces. They don't. So some guy, I don't know who he is. Obviously, he follows me. I don't follow him. But I had made a comment on Twitter, and I said Michael Penix is literally untouched, and he's sitting back and able to survey the field. And I said Washington has to make the rookie uncomfortable. Just, you know, it's always one. You know how it goes. It's always one. He writes me, and he's talking about Michael Penix had 86 passing yards, and his passer rating was, you know, in the 40s. And he said, "How do you even cover football?" Well, of course, you know, I didn't write him back. Because, you know, if I wrote him back, it wouldn't have been about football.
Exactly. I feel you. People always want to be. They feel good about themselves to be heard.
Exactly. But I'm like, everybody and their mother saw Michael Penix was not pressured.
Agreed.
And there weren't blitzing. The corners were on islands getting picked apart. Michael Penix, yes, missed some throws.
Yeah.
But guess what? So did Jayden, you know? Michael Penix, to me, 1 through 10 last night was a 7.5.
Yeah.
I thought he played
fair. I think he played better as the game went on.
Absolutely.
He missed a lot of. I feel like if he was better,
he played
we would have
well
lost.
to win the football game, though.
Yeah, I think if he played better, because he missed some open throws,
he missed a lot of open throws, but he also made some throws. That touchdown pass to Kyle Pitts was legit.
Yeah.
That's not a throw a lot of guys can make, and that lefty was out there. You know, you can see that the upside with Michael Penix is great.
Definitely.
But yeah, just again, it goes back to the defense, though. I just couldn't believe the defense, you know, with John Allen coming back.
Yeah.
They had no pass rush. They had no pass rush. And I think that is something that has to be addressed, man, because, you know, I said this before, when you bring John Allen back, it kind of is going to disrupt some things. I know it's another healthy body, Pro Bowl caliber player, but we haven't seen John Allen play Pro Bowl football in a long time. And I think with him coming back, it kind of disrupted some things. I mean, it did. I didn't see a lot of Johnny Newton as much last night making plays. I think one of the very few pressures was Dante Fowler, and then obviously they called the unnecessary roughness on him. But Dorrance Armstrong wasn't sealing the edge. I mean, it was a lot of stuff going on defensively that I was surprised, because they were going up against a rookie in his second start in prime time. And that was the performance they got on defense.
I'll say this about, like, you know, Johnny's been, and I like Johnny Newton, obviously being a Big Ten dude. I think he's been up and down. Like last game, he was a good game, but he's been up and down.
He has.
And also, I feel like you'll get the best out of Johnny like next season, because he's come off an injury too. I feel so. I don't really.
Season. year being familiar with
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
But right now, this team has no pass rush.
Yeah, and I said this before. Like I said this, and Allen was like, "You're coming back." So, and they've had him on a pitch count. So I didn't expect him to do anything special. To be real with you, I didn't expect him to do anything special. Not especially coming off a peck. That's still a wait and see process. And to be real with you,
But I mean, this is the thing though. I think Atlanta. I thought they had some terrible play calling in the fourth quarter.
yeah,
I mean, they totally got away from Bijan. I mean, Bijan
yeah,
Robinson was gashing this team
yeah.
early
I
and
agree.
often, and they totally got away from him in the second half and tried to put it on the rookie quarterback. That's just bad clock man. Oh, by the way, two timeouts when you get the ball in the late fourth and you don't use them.
Oh yeah, that's what Taj was saying too. That's what Taj was talking about. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, it was. Taj, because Taj knows what's up. That's my dude.
Yeah.
Listen, that was bad, Raheem. that was criminal, and it was. I mean, and then you call a timeout to take a 56-yarder with a guy that's going to be out the league in another week. I mean, come on, man, it's just bad.
Yeah, I just feel like I think we own like the pass rush is the pass rush to me. I never felt like we really have. I mean, Louisville's been great. You got a scheme like he's been good, but we don't have like a true dominant pass rusher. I've always said that though. You know what I mean? Like that's why you'll have games where. It's been out all season. There'll be games where they don't get a pass rush, and there are games they do get a pass rush, right? Depending on who they're playing against.
Yeah, so Fowler or Armstrong are like your only hope.
Yeah, and to be real with you, and I've liked Doris Armstrong. I think he's had a really good season, but he's not a guy to be. He's a worksman's pass rusher. He's not a guy that is an elite pass rusher. That's something I think they're going to need to get in the offseason or the draft. They're going to try to have to get a guy who's an elite pass rusher for this defense because you can't have situations like you said. You got a rookie quarterback and you have time in the pocket to make throws. You know what I'm saying? Like
3-4 seconds at a time.
Yeah, and if you watch Michael Penix,
and
if you watch Michael Penix, and like not to the Michigan game, I use that as an example, but not to be all whatever. I'm being real though. Actually being real. Like
I was thinking about it. Like, damn, what did Michigan do to bottle this joker
up?
Yeah,
they moved out of the spot.
Still should have said, "Listen, we gotta do what we did."
Like what they did was they moved him out of his spot. Like that's all they did. Like they blitzed him a lot, and they moved him out of his spot. You know what I mean? And they knew and he wasn't accurate off of that. Like the pressure got to him. You could tell even in this game when the pass rush got there, blitzes or whatever, the throws were errant. So they were errant. So, but when you give him, go ahead, Lake. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the throws were high. They were wide. They were. He had pitter patter feet at that time.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I think 80% of the time yesterday he was in the pocket chilling, and I was very surprised that they did not rush. And I see Paul says that Michigan had two good corners. Bruh, listen, I'm gonna say this. One of those corners is your cornerback now for Washington. I get that, but in fairness, you do realize that Michael Penix had a top 10 draft pick.
And I'm gonna be if you watch that game, I'm gonna be real with y'all. As you know, I love my Johnson. I love Will Johnson. I love obviously like Mikey. Them dudes were open against Michigan. Yeah, what happened was Penix was shook. Penix was shook.
The ball to him. That's because again, like you said, took him off your spot. Mm-hmm. I have this theory, man. Obviously I'm not a football coach, by any means. But I have a theory that relates to anything. If I see somebody's comfortable with something and it's making me look bad, I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. Yeah. And they didn't do that. They just didn't bring any heat. They were nothing but 3-man, 4-man rush. And when you're not generating a pass rush with that secondary, it's going to give up things, and it makes guys do things they shouldn't do. We all know that Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin are head bashers. We already know that. We know that they're going to lay into you, and they did it last night, by the way. Yeah. But if you're asking them to cover guys 4 or 5 seconds downfield, that's impossible. That's impossible for most guys in the NFL to do with the talent these receivers have now and the talent the quarterbacks getting them the ball have. You're just leaving guys out on an island. Mikey had the one bad play in the fourth quarter
Bunch
where
of, yeah.
his eyes got caught peeking, and the receiver broke on the outside on him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go back and look at the tape, you'll understand that's a left-handed quarterback who made that throw to the outside.
Yeah.
That's his throw every day.
Yeah.
So there's nothing coming in the middle of the field. Get to the outside. Those are little things that they can fix. But listen, man, we all know this, Wole. Whoever they go and play in the playoffs, whether it's the Rams with Matt Stafford and Cooper and everything they do with LA and Sean McVay, or if they have to go to Tampa, with Baker and Mike Evans, and the history there. It's going to be tough sledding. And if you were to win those games and you have to play maybe a Philly, Detroit, or Minnesota, or Green Bay, they all have alpha wide receivers, man. So if you can't generate a pass rush on any of those guys, you're going to be one and done in the playoffs. But if you can get some defensive pressure, you have a chance to reel off some wins here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my concern, to be honest with you, more than even the passing game. I'm just hoping that Matt Lattimore gets healthy. That's one of the main things. But it's it's stopping the run. Like, this has been an issue all year, regardless of who's in there. To be real with you, every running back nowadays who plays against Washington, it doesn't have to be over 100 yards, but they're averaging like over. Most of them are averaging over 4.5 yards a carry,
and they're getting up 60, 70 yards. And in the NFL today, I always tell people in the NFL of today, a 65 yard a game back is 1,000-yard rusher.
Yes.
So it's not the 100-yard mark you got to look at to be effective. If a back's getting over 60 yards on you, they're doing some things. And unfortunately for Washington, they're giving up 60-yard runs. So, yeah, they got to stop that. They have to stop the big plays.
Yeah. And then all these individuals, all these teams you're talking about, other than maybe Tampa, they got dogs at running back.
Oh, Tampa got one. Brooks. Bucky.
Bucky. I'm sorry, Bucky Irvin. He there too. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So they got one too.
Yeah. So it's a problem. Like, and then we know this in like playoff time. If you can't stop the run, that's hard. I don't care what era of football you're playing. You can't stop the run in the playoffs. That's a problem.
You're going home if
you're going home.
Run, because teams are going to run the ball, especially if it's cold. I know for Washington, their first game, regardless of where it is, if they were to beat Dallas next week and be the 6th seed, which I think a lot of us think will happen.
Yeah.
Their first game, regardless, is going to be in a warm climate. It's going to either be in either two domes, either Atlanta or LA, or it's going to be outside in Tampa, where we already talked. I don't want that, but how we talked about how hot that is. So the point is, it's not their first game's not going to be in the cold. It's going to be in wide open affairs where they're going to run the football a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, my man Alexander said it. So what does the playoff seeding scenario looks like? If we win, we're the 6th seed. We beat the Cowboys, we're the 6th seed. If not, we're 7th seed. So,
yeah, they're in. I mean, they're in. So
they're in. That's all that matters.
This is the scenario, and I'll make it layman's terms.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the 7th seed, you're guaranteed to play Philadelphia. Philadelphia is guaranteed as the 2 seed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, because those two teams play each other.
People keep saying, well, that's not true because, Minnesota and Detroit have 2 best records. Well, no, it's division winners. So what's going to happen is the loser of next weekend's game between Minnesota and Detroit, the loser of that drops to the 5 seed.
Yeah.
So Washington is no higher than 6, no worse than 7. They're 6 or 7. But if they win, they will more than likely have to go to Los Angeles. But if Los Angeles were to lose next week, they're still the West champion.
Yeah.
But if they were to lose next week, then it opens up the door for the NFC South winner.
That's true.
For Washington to have to travel there to play. So in a perfect world, I'd like to play Atlanta again. In Atlanta, I really would.
I would.
I think that would be out of three matchups. I think that would be the more viable matchup. I just can't foresee Washington's defense playing as poorly as they did yesterday against a rookie quarterback in a playoff setting. And it's crazy because we have a rookie quarterback here in Washington, but you just don't look at him like that.
Yeah, I just thought they were just like I opened the show. I just thought they were just undisciplined. I mean, like just a lot of stuff that was just dumb. To be real with you, like Mikey lining up all sides on that field goal kick, like was just like, come on, like what we doing here?
That's what's killed this team. And Wole, if you go back and look, man, they have a chance to win 12 games this year.
Yeah.
If you go back to a couple of their losses, it was they beat themselves. They had Pittsburgh, they were beating them by 10 in the fourth and lost.
Yeah.
Just on bad plays, bad penalties. And then on top of that, you go back to the Cowboys game, missed the extra point and things like that. Yeah. It's the little things that have kept this team from being really good. They're good now.
Yeah.
It's kept them from being in the same breath as Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, Philadelphia. Exactly. Kept you from winning a division.
Yes, that's the most important. Yeah, for real.
So, but come playoff time, these same penalties that we see, or same like brain farts or whatever, it'll cost you the game in the playoffs because those are unforgivable plays when it counts. So you got to clean that up. But this team has a shot to do some damage if they can clean those things up.
I agree. I think they play clean football. They, to your point, they got a shot to beat anybody. Like we said earlier, they only got dominated by one team, and that was Tampa. Other than that, they really haven't. The teams that you call contenders have struggled against Washington.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people say, well, they didn't at the time. They weren't beating anybody good. Well, those teams that you still refer to, we're still in a battle. Regardless of the fact, regardless of the end result, they were in a battle. Baltimore was in a battle. The Steelers were in a battle. The Eagles were in a battle in Philly, and then they lost to Washington in Northwest Stadium. So regardless of the fact, and I don't care about the Jalen Hurts thing. They scored 30-some-odd points. They scored 40-some-odd points yesterday without Jalen Hurts. So I don't need to hear that.
Yeah. And again, that's just, again, and I say this, I got family in Philly. those are Philly fans that understand what's brewing. And they've been the king of the hill in the division for some time. And, I know Dallas every now and then, but for all intents and purposes, the Eagles are the face of the NFC East.
True.
And make no mistake about it, they understand what's brewing down the road. So the fans don't want to accept that. And they're like, oh, Washington thinks they're good because they beat us without our starting quarterback. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. It's the NFL. Things happen. I recall when Jayden Daniels left the Carolina Panthers game, Mariota came in through 4 touchdowns.
Exactly.
So listen, man, don't do that because I can easily say the Eagles had some games this year that they should have lost. They should have lost to Cleveland.
Yeah.
If Leggett catches a pass for Carolina, losing to the Panthers just 2 weeks ago. Facts. So I mean, it's football. Washington did what they had to do that game to win, and they did it again yesterday. It wasn't pretty, but at the end of the day, a W is a W. Yeah,
my argument for the Eagles fans is that they scored again. Be mad at your defense. Don't be mad at your offense. They scored 30, right? Yeah, number one defense, right?
Yeah.
Scored 30. Your offense did their job. They scored 33 points. I think, in my opinion, if that's good enough to win a football game.
Pickett did his job that game. He sure did. He had A.J. Brown for the touchdown. Yeah. He had Devonta Smith drop the pass, though.
Yep, exactly.
So again, don't say it was because your starting quarterback wasn't there because I'm not so sure Jayden even makes that pass to Devonta Smith.
I was going to say the same thing, too. And to be real with you, and just to keep it, I'm going to close this on the Eagles thing. Y'all weren't even sweating this dude anyway. So why are y'all going to use that now? Y'all weren't even on him like that anyway.
Well, they know what's up, man. I think yesterday in prime time, it was the only game in town, in the NFL. So people were watching it, and they saw what we've seen all year. They saw what I saw going back to the draft process. They even the rookie mini camp. Me, I was like, I've never seen this before, and everybody knows that in town here. But I think the rest of the league now, I even saw something this morning. Who's the rookie of the year? Like somebody still had Bo Nix up there, and I'm like, that's just that stuff. That's all. That's that stuff. You know what
they
I
gotta
mean?
stop.
Cut that out. Yeah,
They gotta
cut that
stop.
out. And
They gotta stop.
Bo's having a really good year.
Yes, he is.
But he ain't no Jayden Daniels.
He ain't no
man.
Jayden.
If you don't cut that mess out,
they gotta stop.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought it shouldn't even been a conversation before
period.
Sunday night game.
Period.
But after Sunday night, you need to just sit in the corner because he's arguably and we had this discussion yesterday. So arguably he's in the discussion for like all pro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, he's the starting quarterback for the NFC in the Pro Bowl as far as fan votes.
Yeah, fans, yeah. Because Jared Goff, I would say Jared Goff would.
Well, but I'm just saying as far as the fans.
Yeah, I got you.
As far as the overall starter, it's got to be Jared Goff.
Yeah.
No, I mean you would think, but then and again, Jordan Love's having a really good year.
That's who, yeah.
I mean, Sam Darnold's having a great year. There's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is having a good year. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks. But there's something, man, like I was having this conversation with Felix last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know Lamar, you know Patrick, you know Josh Allen, you know Joe Burrow. Those four are always they're top dogs.
Facts.
Oh, who's five? Is it Jalen Hurts?
No. It's not.
Okay. So my point is,
maybe Herbert's having a good year. Everybody loving Herbert again.
Justin Herbert's having a really good year.
Everybody loving Herbert again.
But are you gonna say with a straight face now, today? I don't mean next year, year after.
Yeah, you talking about now? This is fair. I like that argument.
Outside of those four we just named, the main ones.
Yeah.
Are you taking Herbert for sure to start your franchise over Jalen Hurts? Over?
No, I'm taking Jayden Daniels right now.
But that's my point. So I was gonna say, are you taking Herbert over Jalen Hurts? Probably.
Yeah.
So I think right now, at worst, Jayden Daniels is the seventh best quarterback in the NFL, but realistically,
I can see him at 5.
Might be 5.
Maybe 5. I can see him at 5.
Right. And that's, bro, do you understand? There's 32 teams.
Because CJ Stroud has declined.
I don't even think they've declined. I just think that we saw somebody from the year CJ had last year. Yeah. We've seen someone here ascend from that.
Yeah.
Like this guy is having, if he wasn't a rookie, I assure you he would be in the MVP race. There would absolutely be no question. But because this league is doing their very best to get Josh Allen one.
He ain't getting it though. Josh Allen ain't getting it.
I think Josh Allen's gonna win it.
You think so? I think it's gonna be Lamar. I think Lamar stamped it.
I think Lamar should get it again.
Yeah.
Hell, look, Joe Burrow's having.
Bro, I was saying this earlier. Yo, his numbers are crazy.
It's crazy what he's doing, but we all know you got to have some team success too. Unfortunately, so to me, Josh Allen, their number 2 seed. Patrick, people aren't even talking about Patrick. And I'm like, he's still winning.
He's just winning.
Yeah, he just wins. Patrick's like, I don't need that. Watch me bling bling this again.
Yeah, that's how Pat is. Like, I'm just gonna win. I don't need all that.
Yeah, but to me, what Lamar's doing is unheard of too.
Yeah, he's the MVP to me.
He's the MVP to me, but I understand if Josh Allen gets it because he's having a phenomenal year as well.
He is, but Lamar beat him already. So I feel like
he just beat him.
He smacked him. Lamar smacked him. So I think sometimes we have to.
But Josh went into Detroit and beat them and hung 40
cool.
plus on them too.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean that's Detroit though. It ain't Lamar has been amazing. Lamar has been. This is arguably just like we talk about Jayden. Lamar's season has been remarkable. To be real with you. Running the football, throwing the football.
Best season.
This is his best season.
And he's already got 2 MVPs. So if this is his best
season,
then I think he should be getting the 3rd straight.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and for my money, before we go,
you
remember I predicted the Ravens winning the Super Bowl.
You did,
and I'm still saying that they're winning the Super Bowl.
You did.
It's a matter of who are they going to be playing out of the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be real, man. At one point I was like, maybe it's Green Bay. but when I did watch Minnesota thoroughly.
Did you like what you watched? You like what you saw?
Hey man, listen,
You know
Sam.
they got our coach though. They got our coach, like.
Man, like, come on, man. You know, that's my dude. Kevin's my boy.
They got our
And
coach.
listen, it's all worked out for everybody because
It did.
I love what Dan's doing here.
Yeah.
But before with Ron, you remember how hot I was.
Wait, bruh.
They ain't even interviewing, man.
They did, man.
Coordinator. Like, are you kidding me? But that's a whole nother story.
It is.
God takes care of everything. And
Facts.
Washington now has the right coaches in play. They got the quarterback for the future, the foreseeable future, who's a star in the NFL already. So it all worked out. It all worked out. Kevin's killing it up in Minnesota. So is Wes Phillips up there killing. That's his offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, they got our, I'm not surprised. Todd said, other than Jay and Terry and next year's first, I'm calling and asking about Garrett, Crosby, Mac, one of those Bosa boys. I don't want the San Francisco Bosa boys.
So there's one person on that list, Taj, and so the only reason I like Garrett a lot, but Garrett and Terry are one and the same to me, and I think that they need.
Oh, he's talking about Garrett, Miles Garrett.
Oh, he's talking about Miles.
He's talking about pass rushers. These are all pass rushers.
About Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew you're talking about Garrett Wilson. He's talking about Miles.
Oh, yeah. If you can get Miles Garrett, of course. You get Miles Garrett, or you can get Crosby. I think Max Crosby is the perfect fit for this.
Man,
team.
I think he is the perfect fit.
I think he's the perfect fit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Miles would be too, but I think Miles got a little bit more mileage on him. At this point.
I think Miles would be more expensive, and it'd be more of a lot. Like, you have to give up a lot more. I think Miles Garrett is like one of the best, like the best, arguably the best defender in football. Yeah, but I do think that you can get with Crosby's motor. I think it's just a good fit. It's a good fit.
Yeah, I think Crosby is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
I don't think I want Khalil at this point. Not now. Not
at this point in his career,
because I do know that they're high on Jordan McGee. To get another full off season in because he got hurt this year and missed a lot of the season. So that's why they've worked him into special teams. But I know they like him a lot to possibly be a third linebacker. But I think for this team, it's quite apparent. Edge rusher, another corner, and then a playmaking wide receiver to go with Terry. And then, I mean, if you can luck into another tight end, I mean, I do know that they like Ben Sinnott quite a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe they feel like they have something in him, get his blocking up to par at the pro level. I'm pretty sure they feel like they got a tight end that can replace Zach Ertz ultimately. But I keep saying this because you know me. You thought you was going a whole show without me saying something.
Go for it. We are.
They can get my boy Tyler Warren.
I know it.
Hey, come on.
He nice though. He nice. He nice, bro.
He
nice.
If you get that kind of tight end with Jayden,
yeah.
Oh,
shoot! You see the kid Bowling Green?
Oh no, he nice too.
He declared.
And Texas got a nice tight end as well.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
They're out there, but they have like 4 to 5 things they have to shore up. And this thing could get real. I mean, like long term, this team could be building a bully here.
Yeah,
yeah.
They got the money to do it, bro. They got the money in it. They got the money and collateral to do it for real.
So I'm hearing that New England could be a team that trades out of their spot. So,
because they are bad. Yeah.
If you're Washington, do you make those moves? What is does Dan Quinn answer yesterday when asked?
Yesterday when asked about Jayden using his legs off script? Does that mean Jayden is making his own decisions to hold the ball against Cliff's play calls?
Nah, it's not that. So I don't want anyone thinking that he's just out there freelancing. He's deciding though, like, when he drops back, if there's not a lot of time to go to that, to go to the Z or whatever, to go, he's going to take off. He's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And basically, he's comfortable enough with the speed of the game and everything he's seeing from play calling against him that he can make those decisions now. And that's what the great quarterbacks do. We see Josh Allen doing this every week in Buffalo.
Yeah, everybody does. Like, when you're great, you go off script. That's Lamar does it. Everybody does it. Like,
everybody does it. So that's where Jayden has ascended to. That should be more of a testament to his skill set and his understanding of NFL defenses now, that he knows now he can go off script and make a play, as opposed to you're spoon fed a little bit at a time. Well, nah, this joker's eating now with steak knife. He's good.
He killing. The 54th said, Lake, any word on Noah Brown?
Not yet. We'll find out by Wednesday. Obviously, tomorrow's New Year's. Happy New Year's to Wednesday's New Year's, but
same thing.
Tomorrow night. New Year's 12:01. But the whole point is, we'll know by Wednesday when we're back out at the facility for practice. And I don't anticipate Noah playing. I don't. I mean, he had that kidney injury.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say about this coaching staff and these trainers, you shout out to Al Bellamy, Samantha Hawkins, nutritionist, they've done a hell of a job, man. And they will not rush guys back if they're hurt. Or even if they're slightly hurt. They're not going to rush them back. And this is the first time in a long time where you see that these guys absolutely care about these players. And a kidney injury, that was a serious injury. That was an internal injury. So I don't foresee Noah. If he does come back for the playoffs, that'd be another thing.
Yeah.
But definitely not against Dallas, because honestly, he's not needed right now for Dallas.
Yeah.
They're getting by with what they have, and unfortunately, whether you like the receiving core or not, this is what they have, and this is what they're going to play with for the remainder of this season until they address some of those needs in the offseason.
I like the way my guy Diami was playing, but that's just me. I'm biased though. When it comes to I think Diami.
But that bubble screen they kept trying to throw last night missed him considerably.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you even doing it? Guy that you throw it to is not out here, so let's get rid of that plan right there. So
yeah, but Olamide played well though. So I'm
he played well. He had a great game.
Yeah.
How much an impact will the return of Austin mean for the offense? Back next week from concussion. It's huge because Austin's a guy that can get outside the tackles. He's a pass catching back that, not only can catch it, but he can pick up some extra yards. And you notice with Brian and with C-Rod, you could see that they haven't necessarily been guys that they've been looking to throw the ball to out the backfield. Yeah. Not saying they can't do it, but they're not Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler's built his career on being a really, really good red zone back, a touchdown producer in the red zone, and also a great pass catching back. And if they can get him back, another thing, Austin's also a really good pass blocker too.
He is amazing pass blocker.
Yeah, amazing. So if they can get him back, that'll be a big boom to the offense, to Jayden as well. But yeah, because right now they're really, really, really leaning heavily on Terry and Zach Ertz, and so you're going to need some other guys to produce. I thought Chris Rodriguez had a really good game.
Oh man, he was great, man. He was great.
He did.
He was great. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of the yo-yo with him. He's been effective. He needs to be rewarded.
I was surprised that the way they were using him, like he got a lot of third quarter carries.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, they kind of went back to Brian.
Yeah.
And my thing was, I thought Chris was effective just for last night, if anything. I understand Brian's your starter, whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm keeping Chris in there because he was so effective. You're trying to win at the end of the day.
I agree with you, Lake.
So I understand you trying to keep egos in check and things like that. But if I see that Wole's out there giving me buckets on people, why am I going to take you out the game?
I agree.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Mike had a question for you, Lake. He said, Lake, what offensive tackle is in your favor for a draft pick, and at what number?
Oh man, there's a couple good ones out there.
I just don't like where we're going to be at the draft tackle. I just feel like tackles are better at the 10.
That's a great question, and Michael, I agree with Wole. I don't think when you're going to be picking in the 20s, you're picking in the later 20s. Realistically, Washington's going to be picking like no higher than 24.
Yeah,
be picking like 27, 28. If they can get a win first round or in the wild card, they're picking 27, 28.
Yeah.
So at that point, as far as drafting a tackle, that's not really how it works. Normally, if you're going to draft a tackle, they got to be good enough to be a top 5, top 6.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you don't get them in that order, then now you start looking later second round, third, stuff like that.
Like Brandon Cole, like Coleman.
Yeah. So I think with the team, they're going to be probably best player on the board because you saw him do it last year with Johnny Newton in the second round.
Yeah.
They're probably going to go best player on the board. But I tell you what, if one of those top 3 teams is willing to trade out of their pick, I would not be surprised to see Adam Peters. And people are like, why do you mortgage the future?
Yeah.
Remember, they have tons of
Yeah.
salary cap money, so you could plug a lot of holes with some veterans. But if you could move up into that top 3 pick and walk away with a Hunter, you've just covered 2 spots that you need help with. A number 2 receiver, and you need another shutdown corner. That could be something that I would entertain moving up in the draft for considerably.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I would do it. I definitely do another. I mean, if you can get Travis Hunter, you can trade up and get Travis Hunter.
That's what I'm saying. I would do it. I know
do it.
There's a lot of hyperbole and all that stuff.
No, I do it.
But if I know I have to give up my 28th pick, 27th pick in the first round, and a first round pick from next year, and maybe, I think whatever you have 2 of, if you have 2/3 or 2/4, give up one of those, the lower of the 2. I'm going and getting Hunter. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Hey, I watched this team get Chris Samuel and LeVar Arrington in the same draft, so I know it's possible.
We just saw Chicago do it a couple years back.
So
they traded a pick so that they could have 2 first rounders, 2 top 10 picks last year. So I'm just saying, man. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there. I like the kid Luther from Missouri. Luther Burden, wide receiver. Hey, man, he's like that.
The kid from Arizona like that too.
He is. So there's guys that you don't have to mortgage the future for to get. But Hunter is just, man, there's something about him. I think he's about to be a star in the NFL.
I just think I would have him at cornerback, but I would definitely have him at corner.
Oh, no, I have him at corner, but
at corner. But you can have packages him a wide receiver.
Yeah, I give like 6 to 7.
Yeah,
absolutely on the offense.
Yeah.
And if you telling me that you could have a Hunter and Lattimore and
and Mikey on the inside?
Come on, man. Come on.
Mikey on the inside with Hunter and Lattimore?
That could be something right there.
Yeah, that would be like the best secondary in football by far.
Yeah, it would be. It would be nice. So these are like that when you win and you win 12 games and you don't have all the talent that you need, it shows you that the coaches are clicking and they're doing what they're supposed to do. But you shore up a couple more of these holes, and Washington's going to be in store for a Detroit, Minnesota type run next year. And it's real, man. It's real.
Yeah, he said it would cost you a player. I mean, you can get a player. I don't care. It's Hunter.
John
Allen, I'm with you. And I like John Allen. I'm sorry. But
I'm just saying, man. But
I'm with you.
They could get away with him without him. And he's a big cap hit. I mean, he's a big money player for them that they pay a lot of money to. So my thing is, if you could give up your first, your 28th, your 27th, 24th, whatever's going to be in the 20s, John Allen, and another pick that you have 2 of. So let's just say if it's a 4th rounder, and somebody says yes for that, I'm doing that.
I'll run to the stadium. I'll run to the podium.
Headquarters myself for him.
Hey, he said, Paul said, nope, they would want Terry.
Nah, that ain't happening. I don't think a team's dumb enough to even mention Terry in a trade with Washington.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're going to get laughtable on the phone. Like, are you serious, man? Like, nah. Terry and Jayden are they're untouchable. That ain't happening.
Oh, this is not possible. I saw an interesting thought on ex-Patriots draft saying that's not happening. They're not drafting Sanders.
Nah, that ain't happening.
Nah.
Drake May is.
They love him. They love him.
You don't want to go there, but when you talk about ideal fits, Drake May is mustard on a hot dog, man. So let me just say, he's mayonnaise on a ham sandwich. That is when you talk about perfect fits for
that fan base,
demographics, everything. They got their guy. Just like how Jayden fits the demographic here.
He does, though. No, it's facts.
And tell me if Lamar don't fit Baltimore.
Oh, that's perfect.
To a T.
To a T.
Yeah, so Josh Allen, he fit Buffalo. Played out in cold and Wyoming or whatever. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you got to know what you got. So, no, Drake May's not going nowhere. No way.
Yeah, I agree. So like, other than, before we wrap the show up, other than Jayden, Who do you feel like was the most important player on Sunday night?
Other than Jayden?
Other than Jayden, we know that he was the most important player. That's by far.
That is a very good question. I am probably, man, other than Jayden, I mean, it wasn't a lot. Zach Ertz. I would say,
I like that one.
I would say Zach Ertz because that touchdown catch he caught in overtime was not
that was tough.
And Jayden put a lot of oomph on that throw.
Yeah.
So for him to make that catch, and he obviously made the other touchdown catch, same kind of goal line catch. I think Zach, for having those two touchdowns in a crucial game where they needed that veteran leadership, I definitely tip my hat to him. So I think Jayden and him were the best on the field yesterday.
My man Cam said Chris Rodriguez. I mean, he was tough. I like Chris. Chris was tough.
We said earlier, Cam, that Chris had a really good football game, and I was disappointed that they took him out because I thought he had played so well. They should have just let him finish it. But those catches by Zach were old man catches. That was grown man, old man catches that he made.
Paul's 80. Yeah, Ertz and Rodriguez. I would say, I mean, I wanted to give it to Olamide Zaccheaus. That drop really pissed me off. But he was my guy, though. Like, I actually chose him. I chose him before the game to have a good game. Like, I chose him to have a good game. But that drop.
Jameson.
Huh?
Jameson. Two weeks in a row. Jameson and me got this thing in the locker room where I keep telling him, you about to break one on the punts. And he's
like, close. He was close.
That's what he said. He said, I'm close. I'm like, right there. Yeah. So I told him the other day, I said, he's bringing stability to the offense.
He's a godsend. He was a godsend.
He's a router. That's what he does. Man. He route runs you. And so he's had some big catches, for them. But Olamide, to me, was the best receiver yesterday.
Yes.
They just took Terry out the game. They just neutralized him. But as far as that impact, though, it was Zach with Jayden for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll do it I do it like, can you speak on like the importance of Zach Ertz though? Because a lot of it's wild. A lot of people I felt were, I don't want to say hating, but like I would say like not hating, but then you could tell that they wanted Ben Sinnott to play so much they were like kind of piling on Zach Ertz, like for a couple, like he would fall down on catches and he had a couple drops and whatnot.
Yeah.
But can you just talk about the importance of Zach Ertz has on Jayden, because you've seen it in the training camp and you've seen it throughout this whole process.
He's a stabilizer. I mean, he's a consistent player. And one thing that he can give Jayden that Ben can't, Zach's seen it all. He knows the defenses that they're lining up against. He can go back and tell Jayden, hey, I need to go underneath here. They're taking it away from me on the outside, or they're bumping me at the line of scrimmage. So just give us a second to release, get open. He can do those things. Ben Simmons.
Oh, that was late. Did I lose late? Let's see. Did I lose late? I think I lost late. Well, Lake will come back. But yeah, I think that to Blake's point, I think Ben sent like Zach Ertz has seen it before. He's a guy that has seen it all. He's a guy that is a great route runner. What did my man Mike say? Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah, we'll get him back on. Let me see. Let me remove. Maybe he'll come back on. See what Paul said. I will say this: ever since that Steelers game, Ertz is playing great football. Yeah, he has. I think he's probably heard y'all get at him. You know what I'm saying? He's heard the noise. What did Paul say? What did Mike say? It's Mike. Those plays were designed for Ertz. Those are his best plays on every team he played for. Yeah, I agree. He's a guy that really is good at. He is really good at those intermediate routes, man. He's just a great route runner, bro. Like choice routes, everything. He's just a good route runner. He's sure-handed. That's the cool thing about Zach Ertz. He's very sure-handed. Let me take this thing off actually until maybe Lake can come back. Media. Let me take this off real quick. Yeah, but yeah, I think Zach Ertz has been, has been a godsend for Jayden Daniels. He's a player that agree with Mike. Yeah, I think he's a player that's kind of been a stabilizer for Jayden Daniels, and I think it's great to have, especially when you got a young quarterback, a guy who, was trying to get his feet wet, make life easy. Zach Ertz finds those places in the zone, makes life easy, he gets him an easy target. So I just think that what I saw in camp, and now it's kind of trickled down to what we've seen so far this season. He's definitely been somebody that Jayden Daniels has relied on. They had great chemistry in camp too, in training camp. So it's kind of showing right now down the stretch where when Jayden needs to make a big throw, other than Terry, he's going to Zach, which is a cool thing. And Zach has definitely performed and produced. So, but yeah, Zach Ertz. I just want to make sure we get that out there in terms of Zach Ertz and his importance to this team. I think he's been very vital and very important. I think it'd be great to have him back next season. All right, we got Lake back. All right, we got Lake back now. Let me here we go. We got Lake. I knew it. All right, yeah, Lake.
Yeah, my bad.
You said, no, you're good.
What happened there?
No, but we were saying about Zach. I kind of want to get that before we kind of let you go.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that he's a guy that can come to the line of scrimmage and know what the defense is lining up with. And he's a guy that can go back and go to Jayden and tell him different things, like they're taking it away from me from the outside, or I have a seam route I can get to. Things that Ben at this point in his career as a rookie may not be aware of. So anytime you have a veteran that's a common presence out there to a rookie quarterback, that means a lot, and especially a tight end. We all know a young quarterback's best friend in the NFL is a tight end in a running game. And, so for Washington, the fact that they went out and got Zach Ertz, they knew exactly what they were doing. And Ben Sinnott will be the better for it. Don't get me wrong, because he's learning behind. I mean, if you look at Zach Ertz's numbers at that position,
it's good, man.
They borderline Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for real. I think he's ninth now. Is he ninth?
Yeah, so he's had a run as a tight end, of course. So Ben Sinnott is going to be much better when it's his time, because he sat and watched a really good one do it.
Yeah, I agree. One of the better tight ends of all time. May not be a Hall of Famer, one of the better ones of all time. This is a question for me, but I'll give this to you. Like, do you think after one or two roster changes that we are Super Bowl ready?
I think next year they'll be Super Bowl ready.
Yeah.
And I know this is because you have to think they're 2 years ahead of the curve because of their quarterback. It's just the way it is. They got a generational special talent that sped up the process. There is no rebuild in Washington with this guy. So now you look at them, they're 12 wins possibly, and they're in the playoffs this year for sure. Yeah. Why wouldn't they be a Super Bowl contender next year if they're already a playoff team this year in the first year? Jayden's going to be that much more better next year with Terry, with the offense, with just knowing what to do. Adam Peters is going to go out and get them some dogs, because he's had a full year to not just put together a team that he had the pass off season, put something together on the fly. Well, no, he's had a full year to evaluate really where they need to fill in the holes. And then, of course, Dan Quinn, the culture that he's building inside that locker room. You got Josh Harris, who's going to spend the money. He already got cap money. So, and the other thing that people have to really understand here is, in today's world, today's generation, one of the things that we both hate about today's generation, Wole, is they want to play with each other. If you were the man on your team, I didn't want you on my team, because I want to come at you. Well, in today's generation, these guys are friends, and they want their boys on their team no matter how good they are. That's sickening to me. But still,
are you referring to Malik Neighbors?
Hey man. Hey man, listen. All I'm saying is that that's just how people do things.
Okay.
Look, Michael Parsons.
I know.
People are like, I don't want Michael Parsons. Why would you?
Why wouldn't you?
Parsons?
Why wouldn't you?
And he loves Dan Quinn. He's not coming here with no nonsense. He's doing everything he can to get out of Dallas. Make no mistake about that. So again, I say this to answer that question. They're going to be players that want to come here because they see what's being developed and brewing here. And when you got that kind of quarterback, man, with that kind of cachet, and let's face it, guys want to play on prime time. People didn't want to come here before because they knew they were playing 1 o'clock every Sunday. Well, next year, they're going to have 6, 7 primetime games, whether it's Thursday, Monday, Sunday night. They're going to be on they're going to have at least six primetime games next year. I assure you that.
No, I agree. I would even say this, in the NFC, I'm going to say an emphatic yes, because it's not like the AFC. You got like too many like top tier quarterbacks in the
And
AFC.
you got
In
some
the AFC,
balls over
and
there.
it's like it's hard to make it through. Like I like
Mhm.
this one too. If you get a T Higgins, I think you're automatically a contender. But I just feel like when you got one of them dudes though at quarterback, and it's rare. You don't got like a lot of them dudes in the NFC,
No, you
like
don't.
as quarterback.
No, you
Like
don't.
Jordan Love is starting to get there, obviously, right? Jayden,
You
I'm
got
not,
system quarterbacks
yeah,
in the NFC.
yeah, system quarterback in the
System
NFC.
quarterbacks. You do
System, good point.
like Detroit
But
got a system. Green
yeah,
Bay has a system.
yeah,
San Francisco has a
the
system.
system quarterback, yeah.
Um, Listen, we. I mean, you might make an argument that Philly got a system.
I don't know. There's no argument. He is a system.
Okay.
I would say Jordan Love is more of a dog than the other one in
Okay,
Philly.
but when you look at Jayden, that guy belong in the AFC.
Yeah, so that's my point. So you get my
He's the
point,
dog.
right? So it's like now, I mean, at this point in time, you never know what's going to happen in year two. So I'm gonna put this preference on year one, like, but in year one, like from what we see in year one, yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, because I feel like you got one of them. Like if you got one of them, we know how this NFL works. This version of the NFL works. When you got one of them,
You a contender
you're a
every year.
contender. You're a
You're a
contender.
contender.
You're a
Bottom
contender.
line.
You know what I'm saying? So I would emphatically say yes, Paul. Like I feel like you can make a couple moves for real. Be real with you, a couple moves. You ain't got to
That's
go as
it.
crazy. You make a couple moves, and I feel like you're a contender.
Yeah, they absolutely are a contender. I would venture to say when the season starts next year, or like when we get into preseason,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Washington would have one of the top 10 odds of getting to the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I think because people know what's coming in the offseason with Adam Peters. They know that he's going to go out and have a hell of a draft, and he's going to go out and get some dogs to fill up some holes via free agency.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps throwing out the name T. Higgins. I don't see that, by the way.
You don't think he could be here? I mean, I would
He's
love
not
it.
a number one. I mean, he's not a number two.
He's a number one.
He's a number one.
I agree. See, that's the thing. He's really a number one. I know you're saying, yeah.
He's going to want number one money. So
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you where T. Higgins is going to end up.
Where?
It's quite apparent where he's going to get broke off because they have the most money to spend in salary cap. And
Carolina? They need a number
Patriots.
one. Oh, they do need a number one. They need a one in the worst way. And they got a young
Drake.
quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's going to end up.
He would kill with the Patriots because that boy Drake would just throw it up to him. He would kill.
Absolutely. And
he would kill with the
Patriots. If
Patriots.
you don't go to New England is you don't want to play in the cold, but
yeah,
that money will keep you warm. So
that is a good one.
They're going to break him off. Trust me.
That is a good one. That would be a great fit. That would be a good fit. That's an excellent fit actually. Because Drake made those jump balls and
we think, man. You know?
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a real good one.
That's that Nittany line education, man.
Okay, know what? All right, I got you. I'm going to read Earl's question real quick. Earl says it's better to get a receiver through the draft or free agency.
I think in Washington's situation, the draft.
Okay.
Because they have a young quarterback. And, no offense to like Noah or KJ, who they just picked up from New England. These are good players. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason why the Texans let Noah go. It wasn't because he wasn't any good. He's very good. Yeah. It was because they had so many young receivers, and he went out and got Diggs. They just they felt like they needed these young guys to be groomed with CJ. And that's just the way it is. So you have your young quarterback here, and the veteran is already in the room with Terry. Yeah. You don't need another Terry here. You already have that alpha veteran
I got you.
And best player at the position. So now you need a complementary player who knows his role, who knows that even if he's eating and shining, he knows he's still not acting like I'm the man. And that's what I think if you go out and draft a receiver, even if it's a first-round receiver, the point is they're not doing that. But even if it was, he knows this is Terry's team. This is Terry. And he can still come out here and ball because Jayden going to get you the ball regardless. Yeah. So I think for Washington, for them, the best strategy is to draft a receiver. I truly believe that. If you're going to go out and get a free agent, maybe you go out and you get like a Chris Godwin who's had some injury issues, but he's older and he's not going to demand that kind of money. And he could come in here and give you a lot still. He still has a lot left. And no, I didn't say that because he went to Penn State, but now that
I
I'm
ain't say
thinking
that.
about it,
I didn't say nothing. I was
even
going
more sense now, though. But
I will say this though. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it a beat. Like, and nowadays in the NFL and in football, the reason why I would say draft because there's so many talented wide receivers that come out of college now. It's
yeah,
not
and
like
they're
it used
like
to
running
be.
backs. They're almost like
Yeah,
running
for
backs
real.
where
Like you can
get
find one. You can
fourth,
find
fifth
one.
round, and they could be a dog.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I'm saying, man. You look at some of the best in the game today. Of course, we know about Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and those guys, but they also had Joe Burrow throwing them the football in college.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas also had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Jayden throwing the football. But what about the Drake Londons of the world? You know, I saw that potential at USC, but he didn't have a whole lot around him at the time out there. They had gone. That's when they started to go on the decline a little bit. Before Lincoln Riley. So now it's like you look at some of these receivers that are making plays around the league, and a lot of these guys I never heard of in college.
Man, look at Jordan Addison, bro. Look what Jordan Addison doing.
But I remember him at USC.
Yeah, he was tough. Pitt and USC. Like Jordan Addison was like that.
Yeah, you know, so there's guys out there, man, that the kid Watson, you know, at Green Bay. Like, I didn't know who he was.
I did not. That was nothing, but
yeah, so they're out there to be had. But see, there was no talent evaluation in the building in Washington. So now they have somebody that clearly knows what he's doing. And look at this year's draft class. They hitting on everything, man. And they're going to unveil the other ones that hadn't played this year much, like Hampton and guys like that. They're going to be playing. They'll be out there next year. Yeah,
that's true. Paul said Lacey for LSU wide receiver.
Nice. Got size too.
Yeah, so they need size. That's what they really need. They need something different.
They need size. It kind of reminds me. Remember Torrance Marshall?
Yeah, was Carolina, right? Was Carolina drafted him?
I think Carolina cut him.
They cut him. Yeah.
I don't even know if he's on our NFL roster.
I don't think so, man. Wow. I don't think he's on the roster.
Yeah, man.
But you can always. I'll be real with y'all, man. And I hate this. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this. You can always draft a wide receiver from Ohio State. They tend to pan out.
So I'm gonna say it, and you bro, you really gonna be like, come on, Lake, man. I want everybody to know you're gonna call me after this and be like, Lake, man, look, dial it down with the Penn State. Listen, tell me if this don't make sense.
All right.
Because you didn't see it come to fruition the way it was supposed to when he was coming out of high school. He was a top wideout coming out.
Yeah.
Julian Fleming.
Oh yeah, he played. Yeah.
He was from Pennsylvania.
He's supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be like that.
He was number one receiver, and he signed with Penn State, and then backed out and went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
But got caught up with all them greats that they had there. So he transferred. He's at Penn State now. It's like a fifth year, transfer.
Mm-hmm.
And they run the football up there. They haven't done much with their receivers, but this Joker's 6'5", like 220, man, and got hands.
Yeah.
He just needs to be in a situation where he can be used. Hey, look, Mike, I'm just telling you, man, if you could get a 6'5" former.
I mean, 6'5" is good, bro. They need 6'5",
220-pound former number one receiver in the country, no injury history or nothing, just not being utilized. And you can get him here with Terry, who is from where? Ohio State.
True.
Noah, who is from where?
Ohio
Marshawn,
State.
Who is from where?
Ohio
I'm just
State.
saying, man, little things like that help guys. And they don't have any size at wide receiver. They need that in the worst way.
They don't.
And you could get this guy as a 6th, 7th round draft.
Yeah. You like your diamond in the rough. Like no one I think Todd said Puka came out of nowhere. If you look at Puka's college stats, they weren't like true. They weren't great.
But
Puka Nacua.
Talent evaluation.
Exactly. That's the thing.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe Mike would tell me something like that. Well, that's disrespectful. We don't do that, man. we
I knew he was gonna do it. Hey, hey, how can folks catch you on social media, man? How can they catch your content? We're not gonna do no Penn State stuff here, man.
Hey, man, we got a big game tomorrow. Come on, y'all.
I know y'all play. I know
my teams ain't in it. My team's still in the playoff.
I know my team out. I already won it all. Like I beat Ohio State. I won it all. I'm good.
Hey, look, shout out. Y'all put us in there.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
So I appreciate that. But nah, seriously, you can check me out on social media at Lake Lewis Jr. And you can check out my show, Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can subscribe to it on YouTube where you can watch it, or you can pick it up via your favorite audio carrier. It's on there. And you can go to sportsjourney.com, or you can check me out sometimes on ABC Insider with them after the game. So there you go.
Man, ABC stuff is great, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
Stuff,
I appreciate that. Hopefully they got one. I got a scenario for everybody out there, and it could happen.
Okay, go for it.
Washington wins next week, which I all think they should.
Okay.
And they say they go to the Rams. That's where their first game is. So
Mike gave you love. Like, let's make sure you see that.
Oh, I appreciate that. That. So next time, Mike, I'll know if you gave me real love because you'll have some blue and white on.
Like, go ahead. Like, sorry, I cut you off.
Hey, look. Seriously, this scenario could happen. If Washington has to play the Rams, and now we know Green Bay. If that's the case, Green Bay will be playing at Philly. If Washington beats the Rams and Green Bay beats Philly,
a home game,
Green Bay would be playing Washington here.
That would be dope.
Divisional playoff game.
That would be dope.
And I don't think that's far-fetched to think that could not happen.
I think Green Bay could beat anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Green Bay could beat Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they will, but it wouldn't. If they did, I wouldn't be like, I can't believe this.
No.
So that would be a home game for Washington.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is that when you got one of them dudes, you can beat anybody. I think Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is one of them dudes. And I wasn't high on Jordan Love initially, but he's one of them dudes.
He is. And they got a running game too with Jayden.
Yeah, they got a running game to help out.
They got a good defense.
They got a good defense, and they got a versatile wide receiving core where and he shares the ball judiciously.
That's a matchup, and you can't tell me with a straight face the Eagles would prefer to play Green Bay in their first game.
They don't want to play Green Bay.
As opposed to Washington.
They probably prefer to play Washington.
Of course they would. Yeah. So, and I'm telling you, I think the Rams would prefer to play Green Bay than Washington.
Yeah, because of the fit.
Yes. So this magical season could get even crazier. Trust me.
No, I'm with you. Say, wouldn't Green Bay wouldn't Green Bay and Washington have to be NFC championship?
Nah,
I don't think so.
I think because I think the way it's stretched out is.
I know Washington. They would have to the lower seed. I know, like the NFL does it differently, so it's wild. Like they do it the fair way. So the lower seed would automatically have to play in the first round. They would all play the lower seed would play the 1 seed.
Yeah. So remember, Philly would be the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So if Green Bay beats them, they knock them off.
Yeah.
The Rams are the 3 seed, so they're knocked out. So now it would be
we would play. So they would play. So they would. Oh, he's right though. He is right. Like because then the 7th seed would have to play Detroit.
Who's the 7th seed?
It would be. Or are you saying Green Bay? You're saying Green Bay's the 7th seed, right?
Yeah, Green Bay would be the.
They would play Detroit because they always do. They don't have it. The bracket. It's all like the tougher team. You know how the NFL does it, right? Like you remember, like the tougher team. Like that's the lowest. They always the low seed, the lowest seed will play that team with the bye. Don't matter who it is.
I saw as far as the standing last night and the way it was set up.
Yeah.
It was set up for Washington, for the Rams and Philly to be playing. But if Washington and Green Bay plucked them off, they moved on in that for some strange reason. I saw that.
Unless the NFL changed it, I know how it's not like basketball. Like basketball, it don't even matter. Like it's about how the brackets line up. I know the NFL is like unless they it's changed up now where there's only 1 team with a bye now. So that could change everything up. But I do know like usually the lowest seed, whoever in that the wild card round, the lowest seed, upset or whatever, they're playing the highest seed.
Who's the 5 seed right now? Who would that be?
It would be Minnesota. That would be Minnesota, right?
Minnesota or Detroit.
Yeah, or Detroit. Yeah.
Based off of what happens next week. So that would mean that the 4 seed
is the division. Was that?
Nah, man. It's set up. It's set up so that I think what it was the 4th seed, which is going to be the NFC South winner.
Yeah, South. Yeah, fair.
They were to have lost to Minnesota or Detroit.
Yeah.
So now you basically would have 1 versus There
So
you
Paul says the first
first
place.
place in the lower.
Yeah.
So technically, if Green Bay were to win, it would be Detroit, Green Bay.
Yeah.
And if Washington won, and then
Yeah.
Minnesota won, Washington would be going to Minnesota.
Yeah. And I think that if that, like, to the 54th point, the only time we can meet is and which again, I'm a believer that's still possible. So don't get it twisted.
But there's just never going to be a home game in Washington for the rest.
It could be if both teams get to the NFC Championship game. I'm just saying it could be.
But there ain't gonna be no NFC Championship game in Washington. And I'm not saying because Washington won't do their part, but for Green Bay to have to go into Philly,
they can do it.
To have
they
to
got
go
one of them
into
dudes.
Detroit, get them. Ooh, man,
that's a division game though, Lake. You know how division games are tough.
Hey, and Green Bay got one.
They got one, bro. They got one.
A good coach. I like LaFleur. So.
And Green Bay, I don't think, to your point, I don't think a lot of teams, because Green Bay's playing good football. I mean, they lost the last game, but they came back, right? They're not a team that everybody, because of that quarterback, a lot of teams don't want to play. And to your point, their defense too, like a lot of teams don't want to play that team in the postseason.
So I mean, basically, if you told me Green Bay, the path for them to get to the NFC Championships, they got to beat Philly and Detroit.
Yeah.
I would tell you they have a 50-50 chance to do that.
Yeah.
And if for Washington to get to the NFC Championship, their path would be they would have to beat the Rams and then Minnesota.
I think that looks better.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's doable.
That's possible. No, that's very doable. That's very doable.
Man, it's so nice to be having these conversations as opposed to when are they firing the coach? Who are they drafting? Like, man, I gotta go to Indy for this and see this. Like, I'm looking forward to going to Indy now. I'm looking forward to seeing what Adam going to do. This is some good stuff brewing, man. It's just fun time.
It is, man. It's exciting, especially if you're a content creator. You're a reporter like yourself. It's a good time, man. It's like the negativity isn't like there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people
gonna find it.
People gonna hate whatever, but
somebody gonna find it.
They gonna find something.
Somebody gonna say that about our conversation now. You're talking like they got a chance in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's all
they do though.
Home,
so they should. Your team's home mad. Like that's what I'm gonna tell that person saying that. You mad? You mad right now? Come on, man.
Look, man, it goes back. Like when you got a dude, you can go as far as you can, bro. Like I've referenced this before. Like no one thought when Mike Vick played the Packers in Lambeau that he was gonna knock out the Packers in Lambeau. You know what I mean? Because he was that dude. When you got a dude, there's no matchup that you should be scared about.
And your team feels like they've seen it over and over and over. Even in the losses, they've seen it. Him take them down the field and score.
Yeah.
These guys are truly starting to think, that they playing with Black Jesus. They seriously starting to think to themselves, they got a miracle worker playing quarterback. And when you have that faith in that position, you think you're never out of a football game. And when they went down 17-7 yesterday, it was like, damn, where are these guys?
I agree.
And they came right back out after halftime. Boom, get a touchdown, and everything changed. You knew they weren't going away from Atlanta, but the point is, whenever you have that guy, you have one of those ones at the most important position in all of sports, you're going to win football games. It's as simple as that.
Hey, like, you're going to laugh at this. I'm going to let you go, but you're going to laugh at this one. Like, read this. All right, read this. Go ahead.
Man, because of some things I got brewing, I got to be careful.
I know. That's why I said just read it and laugh. That's why I said read it and laugh.
But the point is, hell yeah. 100% correct on that one. It's and you don't feel like you're being lied to, man, or being duped. Like, when Dan Quinn said, I'll never forget this, in the Tampa game, they did not look good in that football game.
They did not look good.
Adam Peters was red-faced.
I remember you telling me this.
Bro, I've never seen, he's always smiling. But everybody knows, Dan good cop, Adam bad cop. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I felt it. I felt like, man, I gotta get away from him. Like I moved away from him.
Yeah,
he was standing in the hall when people coming off the field, and it hit me like, oh, he ain't down for this. He's not down for this losing and losing like this. And it hit me that everything's going to be different. You
Yeah.
know, they're going to change. And if you recall in that football game, although they lost and didn't play well, Jayden still was looking like, damn, that joker the man out here.
Yeah, he was like he was so like
He was
the running was what got me.
Yeah,
The
he
running
was
was what got me. I
different.
was like, you faster than everybody.
That's what I'm saying. You could just see this dude different.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew a long time ago that it was there. So what I'm saying is now, when Dan Quinn came to that podium that day and he said, these are learnable things that we can learn from, moments that we can take, you know, to have our winning time moments. He was calm, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because you could tell that they have a plan in place. They knew exactly what they were trying to accomplish, what they wanted to do. And he's been like that all year, even kill, just a gentleman. That's the word I would say about Dan Quinn. He's a gentleman, but he's a dog.
Yeah, he definitely the dog. You see it though.
You
see
don't
it
play
though.
games. He's a
You
dog.
see it though with Dan Quinn though. I think he's like, I don't think he hides it. Like he's, you see he's genuine. That's what I do like about him. He's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
I told like Candy, like I just like how, regardless of what your background is and what outlet you are or whatever, I love that he knows who everybody is. I like that. I love that.
Every culture in the building.
I love it.
Everything about each player. He said he takes time to get to know each player and about their families, and he wants them to know the same about him and his. So it's just a good setup in Washington. And man, I just want to tell the fans out there that are watching your show, congratulations, because y'all have earned this. It's been hell and back. I mean, no offense, y'all was living with the devil when football season came. He was watching football with y'all next to you on your couch.
Yeah.
Now he's gone. It's different. And now you guys should feel good about this football team in particular. Whatever they do going forward in the playoffs or not, it's house money. If they lose, let's not think the sky's falling in. You know, I had to get on one of my good friends recently because they're always in this chat box complaining, get rid of Cliff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I understand you're fans and you wear your emotions out on your sleeve, but how can you not be happy about what you've seen this year?
True.
Like, you have real meaningful football in front of you for the first time ever. And I say this because you just won your 11th game for the first time since 1991. If you're 33 or under, you've never seen Washington win 11 games. That's sad.
Bro. And it's a legit, like, forget the extra game. It's 11. If you want to go, they're 11-5. Think about that.
11-5 with a
Think about that.
12. They won 12 games their past 2 seasons combined. They won away from tying that in the first year of a new regime. If you can't be happy about this, you probably should turn your card in, your fan card, because your expectations aren't realistic. They playoffs this year. They just won the Super Bowl yesterday, as far as I'm concerned. In the first year, they just won the Super Bowl.
I agree.
They made the playoffs. If they don't win another game this year, they still had a hell of a season and something to build off of to be a contender next year.
Yeah, it's like vibe, like, and I know I keep going back to 2012, but it's like vibes. It's like when the team lost to the Seahawks in that game, you didn't feel bad about it, right? No. Like, you thought that you're gonna have multiple years to come with it, right?
You did.
Initially, that's what you thought. But that here, you got the same, like, to what you're saying right now. Everything's house money, man, for real. Like, going into this season, you didn't expect this to happen. Like, the Jayden has turned this whole thing around. And the whole staff. Like, let me give everybody, like, the staff too. But having Jayden here has turned the whole vibe around to a point where the expectations are different. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know where your team is at right now. But you now see the future, and the future is so bright. And I think that's the thing we as fans gotta, like, lock down on. Yeah, I mean, to me, do I want them to go to the Super Bowl? Yes, I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, would I be disappointed if they lost? Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, because the finality of everything.
But as you should want them to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I'm just saying to the fans, man, you guys have a right to finally exhale. Okay. Let all that negativity go.
I agree with that. Like,
stop judging this team by the failures of all the other teams from the years past.
Agreed.
It's a whole different group. When they give up points like they did last night to a rookie quarterback, it's not the same old Washington. That's what you keep hearing. It's just that group last night didn't play well. but you can't have one without the other. You can't say, oh, this is the same defense. They suck. It's the same thing. But then you're looking at a quarterback who wasn't here either. And now you're saying, oh, but he's different. He gives us hope. No, the whole team gives you hope because they're busting their tail out there. They're playing hard. And to be honest, from a roster standpoint, this team is at a 65% talent level.
I agree.
Okay. It's just that you got one of one now that's at in the upper 2 or 3% in the league.
Yeah.
You know, that's like at a 96 right now as a rookie. Okay. That covers all those holes.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. There's a lot of holes that need to be filled, and they've been winning with sheer grit and determination and culture and coaching. Once they get more of the bodies in to go with that guy and go with Terry, yeah, man. Everybody's saying they got to draft a first-round cornerback. No, you don't. You already have a 4-time Pro Bowler, and if you didn't see anything last week against the Eagles, I don't know what you was looking at. That's a dog in Lattimore.
Oh, no, he's awesome.
He's will be fine next year. Don't worry about anything.
Nah, he's gonna be awesome. I like Lattimore. I think Lattimore's amazing. My only thing is like when folks say draft, I get why some folks would say draft a corner, but not because of Lattimore and his play. It's because of like the injuries, right? And just to know that you have a guy that's ready to kind of, you know, because Mikey can play inside out.
Receiver?
Huh?
I mean, Mikey a starting corner?
Yeah.
Okay, so you already got your two.
No, I agree with you. Like, no, I'm saying, no,
yeah.
I totally agree with you. I feel like because of Mikey's flexibility,
yeah,
like that's the only reason I'm saying, like Mikey, if you drafted a top, like for instance, this is not a Michigan thing. Say you get lucky, you get Will Johnson from Michigan, right?
And that's realistic.
Yeah, you can now slot Mikey in the inside, Will on outside, and then you got Lattimore. So if Lattimore goes down, I can put Mikey back outside, and you have another. You can just get a nickel to play, you know.
Or you can also re-sign Noah, and that's your fourth.
And Noah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So it gives you flexibility. Yeah. But for me,
I'm getting defensive end though in this draft in the first round.
If you tell me the number one priority for this football team, they got to get an edge rusher.
I agree with you. That would be my person.
Also have to walk away in the first 4 rounds with a wide receiver.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of
too.
There.
Yep. A tall one though. I want something different.
A big playmaker.
Yeah, it would have to be something different.
And I do not break the bank for T. Higgins. I don't.
Yeah, I get you with that. All right, Lake, man. Thanks for being on, bro. Appreciate you. This is fun, man. I had you longer than I thought, and this is great. The conversation is always real having, talking. See, you didn't have to do that though.
Tomorrow, let's go. Yeah,
I know I got you. You know what? I'll give you that. They're in the playoffs. I got you. I understand.
Hey, man, I need this because if they don't get it, I'm gonna hear from you because I heard.
You will.
About Michigan.
Yeah, you will. I know what I would say. I would say, good try. It wasn't like last year. That's what I would say. Good try, but it wasn't like last year. And now they read it all. Like everybody's making
all I know
is
like, if they don't beat Boise, I'm gonna be on James Franklin to get out.
What? All right, real quick. All right, are you anti Franklin too?
I'm not. I love him as a person. I think he's the best thing you want for your son to go play for. He's a good man.
Okay.
But man, this is a win business, and he's won. Yeah, he just hasn't won the big ones.
Got you.
And I think if they can get to the semifinals, it takes the monkey off his back. I really believe that because that's a task to do that. Yeah. To be at 13-2 on the year, come on, man. That's you got to give love there.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're supposed to beat Boise. They're not a Power 5 team. You're supposed to get them.
That running back though.
Oh, he nice with it. Now, this is the thing. If he runs through Penn State's defense, now you're talking about somebody's draft stock like skyrocketing. Top 10 pick as a running back.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to be able to run on us.
Yeah, your defense is nice. I'm trying to get Lake out of here, y'all. But you know what? This is one more question.
My bad.
No. They asked you a question, so I got to give people what they want.
Okay.
Because I know, like, you're a busy dude. That's the reason why I'm trying to get you out of here.
How do I think Mike Vick's going to do?
Yeah.
I think he's going to do well. I think my boy Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State's going to do well.
Yeah.
I think these are the perfect hires for black colleges, especially because these are legendary players that will give you another added edge in this NIL world.
Yeah.
To get some players to come there. And for Mike Vick to be able to do it and back down there in that Norfolk area, it's a hot bread plate for for talent. So he doesn't have to get the 5-star recruit down there. He can get a 2-star to go to Norfolk State and still ball out. So I good for him. Good for him. I know a lot of people still don't forgive him for the other stuff and all that, but listen, man, if you can forgive a family member for making a bad mistake, you can forget that man for making a mistake. So congratulations to him for getting that job. I think he's going to do really well.
I agree with you. I think that's a hotbed. I think both situations are great because Deshaun, obviously, because of how close Delaware to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So he's going to get talent out there in Pennsylvania. And then on the flip side, you're talking about like Vegas is the perfect place, though.
Man, he's like in the only place that could have been better than that was if he was at Hampton. But
Hampton.
But Norfolk State,
man.
I think that's a brilliant.
That is like you said, he doesn't even have. There's going to be some kids that aren't getting the looks that they should be getting, and they're super athletic, super talented. Man, the folks that come out of that region, bro. I know we talk about Florida, we talk about LA and all. Like we talk about here in the area, the DMV, DC area.
I learned moving down here with Janine to Richmond. It's like that.
It's like that. I had to I had to think about because he was on. I'm gonna say he was on a pivot. When I found out that Plaxico Burress was from area too, I was like, Jesus.
You know who's from here. Honestly, we were having Tyler Warren's from here.
Oh, for real? Oh, okay.
He's from Richmond. That's what I'm saying, man. Like white, black, whatever. These jokers,
they
different.
They different. Seriously.
I give credit, but I'll say this about Mike Vick.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, if anything happens at Norfolk State, I guarantee you his quarterback will be electrifying.
Yeah.
He's going to have somebody that he can see himself through.
Exactly. So, just like Deion with Travis.
Yeah, so that'll be something worth watching right there. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep.
Yeah, just like Deion and Travis Hunter. I totally agree with you. Like, I think he's going to have that quarterback who's like, oh, you me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. He might flip somebody
to be him.
That's going to a top school.
Yeah.
To go to Norfolk State, and people are like, that's impossible. They're not good.
Yeah.
And, hey, you saw Travis left Florida State to go to Florida State, so that's a good point, Wole. I guarantee you, the quarterback at Norfolk State next year is going to be like that.
Yeah. If it ain't in year one, it's going to be in year two.
He's going to be dumb.
He's going to be dumb athletic.
Yeah.
He's going to be dumb athletic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lake, man, appreciate you being on, bro. Always appreciate you, bro. Like, go do your great work. Enjoy this Cowboys, BS game because it's like no one really cares. Cowboys already quit, so.
Hey, listen, man. They still got beat them.
They do gotta beat them though.
They gotta beat them. They just have to, man. They have to. But I'll enjoy it.
We good though. We probably put a good
New Year, man.
Here, bro.
Don't.
No, I haven't in a while.
Okay.
I'm 3 months strong now, bro. 3 months
For real?
strong. Yeah.
Congrats, man.
3 months strong.
So nothing tomorrow.
Probably not.
Okay. Because I don't really. I don't. But on special occasions like New Year's, I probably will. But
but for me it's different. I'm be real because my dad passed on New Year's, so I'd be a little iffy on those days. And those
I understand.
So I mean, like it depends. It depends how I feel.
Sorry to hear that. But you know what though? He's partying.
Yeah, it's true.
Facts. And I say that all dude because both my parents are gone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we talked about it.
They the best place ever, man. So man, look, we come on here and give people life stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. But nah. Listen, little bro, proud of you, man. Keep doing your stuff and
appreciate it.
Bringing the new year the right way. And doing this again in like a week or so.
Oh, you already know, bro. You already know, man. Appreciate you, man. I got much love for you, like as you know.
Always love you, brother.
I love you too, man.
All right, take care.
Take care. My man Lake, man. Always appreciate it. Like always good to have him on. Oh man, appreciate you, Paul. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, New Year's be kind of like rough for me at times, but yeah, I should be. But I'm doing better nowadays than I compared to what I used to be like. But yeah, man. Hopefully, we knock things out. The Commanders do the darn thing against the Cowboys. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about that when we get to the Cowboys week. Will it really be Cowboys week? Does that count like Cowboys week? Hello, bro. God, it's against. Nah, man. It's working. I ain't betting against this. I'm just not picking this. It's working. Mike, you got to start vibing me, bro. We undefeated since I've done it. And you still, it's like you want me to pick my team. You want me to pick my team? Why? Why, Mike? Why? Why, Mike? You should be happy with what I'm doing. Be happy. Enjoy the happiness I'm giving you, Mike. All right, I'm giving you a lot of happiness right now, bro. Enjoy it. All right, man. Before we end this show off, man, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Yo, Mike, this is gonna be. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is the hard part because I never picked Dallas, and I don't like that. Like I don't. That hurts me. Like I know, Mike, but I picked Dallas. I picked Washington last time to beat Dallas, and we lost. And to me, we should never lost that game. So now I'm like, yeah, I know it hurts my soul. But I think I'm gonna do it. I gotta do it for the team, even though it hurts my ego and like it really, it's a cringe. I know, Mike. Don't remind me about that. I hate that. I hate that I might have to do that, but I have to sacrifice, and it's unfortunate. I gotta sacrifice my individual pride. Sucks. It does suck. All right. Also, yeah, search us out on Facebook page. Just search the Urban Sports Scene, bro. Oh yeah, hit that notify. Thank you. Hit that notify button. So folks can know what time it is. If you on YouTube right now, subscribe and hit that notify button. You know what I'm saying? Also, like the video, all that good jazz. Thank you, the 54th. I appreciate you. Yes, definitely. Notify button. Hit it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're close. We're at it. We're at over 900. So if y'all got tell a friend, subscribe. Try to get us to 1,000. We're getting there. We're close on this platform. Oh yeah. Oh man, thank you, Mike. Be blessed as well, bro. Hey, happy New Year to everybody out here in the chat, though. I appreciate y'all, man, for real. Y'all make doing these pods real fun, man. All burgundy and go everything. Urban Sports Scene. Y'all just make these pods real fun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in on this afternoon, 4:00, and now we're about to hit. Damn, basically 2 hours, man. That's wild. Anyway, I appreciate y'all as always. Happy New Year, many blessings, man. I want y'all to have a banging New Year, man. I hope 2025 gives you all your riches, all the love, all the happiness you desire, man. I hope if 2024 wasn't your year or was your year, 2025 is your year, and I hope it's even better than 2024. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. Yo, if I can find my video. Where's my video? I'm gonna say I'm out. If I can't find what's my outro? Oh, here you go. Deuces. I'm out.
Peace.